If I were to say which anime I've watched is the most iconic, it has to be Dragon Ball Z. Yes, you can argue and say that there are plenty of animes out there that are better, but when it comes to being the most iconic, it is without a doubt Dragon Ball Z. With its inspirational storyline, with inspirational characters, with fantastically well written story arcs, this show stands out from the rest. And here is why I love Dragon Ball Z. When I first started watching Dragon Ball Z, I didn't really think it was going to be that special. But when I started watching from Dragon Ball, I felt a special connection with it. Its whimsical world that it's created, with its wacky and interesting characters and its diverse lore, and its fun, diverse characters just intrigued me. So I continued watching and I found myself finishing Dragon Ball and going on to Dragon Ball Z. The intrigue, the fun, the whimsical factor to 11 while adding in some fantastic animation for its time. Because around the time, Dragon Ball Z was one of the first animes ever to have fluent animation during the fights. Other animes had screenshot animation. And the fluent animation is what set Dragon Ball Z apart. Yes, I can understand today the animation is pretty damn dated, but for its time, it was pretty revolutionary. I was honestly hooked to this show. Not only because of its amazing fights and intense transformations, because of its characters. Each character that I love has represented a different part of what it inspires me. Vegeta is my favorite character, and he taught us that it's not too late to change. That you don't have to stay the way you are. You can change. In the beginning, Vegeta was a cold-hearted murderer, but after he made a family on Earth, he began to fight for something other than himself, which eventually caused him to sacrifice himself in the Buu Saga to try and save the world. Granted, this was in vain, but it was a huge thing for his character. Goku taught us that there is always another level to achieve. You can break your limits if you have the willpower to do it. Goku has had so many transformations, and each was unlocked through pure willpower and effort. And that is what made Goku such an inspirational character. Gohan, the son of Goku, taught us that it's alright to fight when it's for others. It's alright to lose yourself to violence when you're fighting for others. This is the practical thing that created Gohan's character arc. He was dragged into this world of chaos and violence against his will, and he never ever picked a fight, unlike Goku and Vegeta. And the only time he ever fought for real was when he had something to fight for. Yes, there are plenty of other characters in the show that are inspirational, but these three to me are what just stood out the most. the sacrifices they've made, the things they've done, inspired so much for the world and myself to do. All these characters have one thing in common. That is progression through struggle. They struggled through odds against them to win. And that is what's inspiring about the Dragon Ball Z story. Yes, there are very much badass fights in this show, and the transformations are amazing. But the things that stuck out the most was the story, the characters, and the messages they were trying to convey, and succeeded in doing so. I'll say it once again. You can argue saying Dragon Ball Z isn't the greatest anime ever made, but you cannot argue that it is the most iconic. It inspired so many people throughout the world to become who they are today. And that is why I love Dragon Ball Z.